And we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Multiverse Show, episode 118, the greatest show on Mondays. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got a lot of stuff to cover today. We have tons and tons of news and great little things we need to talk about. But first, we need to do our intros for the new year. First off, we have the Titan of Texas, the voice of the people, Lord of the Storm, Fame Entertainment.
Hey, what's going on, guys? First, I apologize because my audio may sound terrible because I have to be mobile set at my PC today, so I apologize. I walked in a house of chaos. It's ridiculous. But thank you guys for rocking with us once again. This is the Multiverse Show, the greatest show on a Monday. And I hope you guys enjoy what we got rocking today. And, yeah, buddy.
All right. And we also have the Caesar of cinema himself, the Baron of Britain, Mr. James Wilson.
Good evening, everybody. It's your boy, the ginger one, the man who's better than Mike. It's James. Hey, everyone. I'm very tired today, even more tired than normal, if that's somehow possible.
All right.
But I will get fired up for the topic I have.
All right, and we have the Don Deletion, the gaming Gambino himself, Mr. Mike P. Truth.
Yeah, you can ignore what James says. I think everybody knows that by now. He's nothing more than an obsolete mule. Anyway, thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Multiverse Show. I'm Mike, the author of the worst gaming opinions on Twitter. We have a great show planned for you guys tonight, so let's get it started.
At least I'm not hiding behind other people's gimmicks, Michael.
Why are we going to limit to just gaming opinions? All right. So we also have the Butcher Block, the White Wolf, the Paladin of the Piedmont, Mr. Samuel Tolbert.
I like that last one. Hey, guys, how's it going? I'm doing really well. Hope you are all doing really well. We got a lot of topics to talk about, almost as many topics as there are games dropping on the 15th. So let's get into it.
Oh, boy. Man, oh man, those games come out on the 15th. Let's see. What we got? We got Crackdown 3 is coming out. We got Metro Exodus, the new Far Cry New Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Those are the big ones.
No, then we got Jump Force and the Resident Evil 2 free DLC. And it's not gaming, but since we're the Multiverse, Season 2 of the Dragon Prince drops on Netflix on the 15th as well.
And also there's a bunch of films coming out that day as well, because it's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to say, Friday, you can also play Anthem if you have EA access, too.
There's that, too. Access. Yep.
That's true. Man, we were going to be swamped. All right, who took off? Who's taking off on Friday?
This Friday, no. Next Friday, yes. I'm not this Friday. It's not worth it.
Oh, yeah,
I work in a cinema. There's no way I can do it.
Nah, I couldn't swing this Friday.
Yeah. I got this Friday off mainly just because I forgot that this was the weekend everything was coming out, but I asked off anyway because I had a couple of things I had to take care of anyway. So I was like, oh, that's convenient. I'll just do that too. So anyway, that works out for me. Anyway, so all right, we gotta catch up with everybody. What have you guys been playing, sir? Fame, what you been playing?
I actually started playing Detroit Become Human. I've actually had it for a while now, and I started to once again lie to myself and say I'm gonna go into my backlog, and it was either start this or Fatal Bullet, and I decided to go ahead and start Detroit. And I started my first playthrough on my channel yesterday, and probably gonna pick back up on it tonight or tomorrow. But Detroit is actually the controls suck, but it's actually a pretty interesting story so far.
Mm-hmm. All right. James, you been playing anything, or you just been busy with work?
I have been busy with work and other stuff, but I have been playing Apex Legends. I've played about an hour's worth of it.
Oh, nice!
I won a game. I won a game on my own, the second game I ever played, and I've never even got close since.
Not bad, dude.
Nice,
Those final rounds, it's no joke.
Huh.
I'm very quite happy, but yeah. Other new games, I've got in my new wrestling kick at the moment. I went and played WWE 2K19. Like a bunch of good story stuff, but also that game is super buggy.
Their games usually are, James. I think the go-to wrestling game. I know Stevie Richards likes it as Fire Pro Wrestling. I think,
Oh,
yeah, I think that's pretty much consensus. The better wrestling game. I'm waiting for it to come out on Switch. I think it'd be perfect for Switch, but that might be something you want to check out.
Okay. I feel like in doing this, I realized I would have loved the Telltale WWE game. Feel like it would have been really cool. But hey,
It would be
there
cool.
you go.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, Sam, what you been playing?
So I've been playing a couple of different things. I've actually been playing Fallout 76 with you. That's been an interesting ride, those few hours that we managed to get in, setting up camp. It's a nice little cozy house. I have to say, I really like it. Pond view, herd of Brahmin, mega caliber turrets. Very nice, very nice. That's been a lot of fun playing that with you. Beyond that, I've actually just been dabbling back into The Witcher 3, funnily enough. Just toying around in there because I'm biding my time until Metro Exodus comes out.
Yes. Good stuff. Mike, what you been playing?
So, new Super Luigi U, Resident Evil 2, finished Leon's campaign, just started Claire B pretty early in that. I should finish that this week. But other than those two, man, Apex Legends, I really dig it. I think it's a great game, and I think it's awesome. The news that Vince Zampella shared today, where they've had 25 million players, I think that's pretty impressive.
And 2 million concurrent.
Right. I mean,
that's impressive, dude. That's fast. That's crazy fast growth. Like, game's only been out 2 weeks.
Well, week.
A week. A single week. 2 weeks ago, most people didn't know this game existed. It's insanity.
And if you're going by Twitch, I think that the last I looked, it's something like tripling what Fortnite's doing on Twitch. So, I mean, it's a big game.
Because I know it overtook it like over the weekend. I know it overtook Fortnite. The key thing is, will the player base be there 2 weeks from now or a month from now?
Well, no, the real question is which major hip hop star is going to play it?
Yes. Now we got to guess who's going to be. I'm already going to put. All right, we're going to start putting money on this. I'm
going to go with Travis Scott.
I'm doing Post Malone.
That was my guess, Travis Scott.
Because Travis Scott's sort of like the budget Drake.
Drake. Okay. Budget Drake. Man.
I'm just
all I'm saying is if Drake showed up at the Super Bowl, it wouldn't be awful.
I'm just happy to see something taken away from Fortnite. So finally, something has come to save the game.
I mean, really, it's true. I mean, we thought PUBG could hold its ground against it. We saw how that turned out. We thought Blackout for a second could hold up against it, and it still wasn't able to overtake it. So, I mean, competition is good. I hope Apex Legends could stay in this spot.
Yeah. That's true. I wish they do. But we got a lot of stuff we got to talk about. This is something that's not on the docket, and I did want to bring it up. So it's your boy, Jim Ryan, Mr. Think of the Children, Mr. Nobody Wants Backwards Compatibility. He's back in the news, guys. And it's not what you think. It's not what you hoped. Man's getting a promotion. So, oh my God.
Can I ask a question? Why?
Money. Money is why.
And to his credit, he did well in Europe. He was in charge of their European division, and we can argue that they haven't had any competition in Europe this gen, but the point remains he's done very well expanding them in Europe. So, there's that.
So, for those of you who don't know exactly what we're talking about, according to Market Watch, there's a press release that happened today, very recently. They announced that the Sony Corporation and Sony Interactive Entertainment announced that the Deputy President, Jim Ryan, will be appointed President and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. He'll be replacing John Codera and dedicate his focus on creative, innovative user experiences and further enhancing the network area. So, yeah. Yeah. So, what do you guys think of this? Like, is this a good sign for Sony?
So, looking at it, you have to understand, we all know CEO Kaz Hirai stepped down last year around April. All right, you guys all remember that, correct? Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So after that, it was Kunichiro Kodera. He is the one who stepped up, and he was now CEO of Sony, and more specifically, CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, which is the gaming division. He's still CEO of Sony as a whole, but he's stepping down from Sony Interactive Entertainment and will act as deputy president. Now, Jim Ryan is going to be acting as the CEO and head of Sony Interactive Entertainment.
Yeah.
I don't really understand this, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't get it. Not even just holding Jim Ryan's previous statements against him or anything like that. It's just Kodera is a services guy. He's one of the reasons that PSN has been so successful, that Sony gets that ludicrous digital revenue. That's been his thing, is focusing on PSN, focus on their digital market. And it seemed like he was the guy to have in charge leading your gaming division. So I just legitimately don't understand what's going on. I don't understand their plan looking in on it. Who knows? Maybe they have a plan. Maybe they know something we don't about how they're going to focus these guys now moving forward. But, it's interesting to say the least.
Is crossplay doomed forever?
Crossplay will continue to gain traction with or without Sony. I'm sorry. I know some people say, well, Sony's the market leader, and they're going to say whether or not crossplay, is moves forward. Between PC, Xbox, mobile phones, and the Switch, crossplay will continue to progress with or without Sony. And I don't care who feels bad sorely about that. Sony won't determine whether or not crossplay progresses. These companies seem to want it. These third parties want it. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree with you. And I mean, if you're not going to do crossplay, I mean, at least can we work out cross progression? I mean, honestly,
yeah.
I think
that's one step too far.
No, I think
they're honest. If I'm a third party developer, I'm gonna be honest with you. And this, from a business sense, I don't want cross progression. See, because I'm losing money, especially for a game that has heavy microtransactions. I'm good on that. I'm losing way too much money.
See, I don't know about that, because I think it's the same thought process about crossplay not being a good idea. Because at crossplay, I think you could actually argue crossplay is worse for that, because it's like, well, what's the point? Like, why buy whatever game? Like, wait, we'll use Fallout 76 as an example, or no, better yet, Overwatch. It's like, why would you buy Overwatch on PlayStation if you could just play it on Xbox and play with your friends on PlayStation? What's the point? But if you do cross saves, or cross progression, dude, I'd be buying so many copies of games just so I could play on different groups. Like, if my skins transferred over with me from Overwatch to PlayStation, I'd buy a PlayStation copy.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of my biggest irritations right now regarding Apex Legends. I have it downloaded everywhere because I want to play with people, but it's not going to have cross progression, and that's annoying because it's like, okay, I have to manage 3 different separate things. And to be fair, it's free to play. It's just skins, right? So it doesn't really matter. But nonetheless, the point remains. It's frustrating. I'd like to have it all synced up so I can play on my PC or my PS4 or my Xbox. But, one step at a time. One step at a time. First, Fortnite, they finally cracked on that. Now Sony's cracked on Rocket League. It looks like Apex Legends is going to be next for them to crack on crossplay. So this is going to take some time. Make no mistake, but I agree with you guys. It's going to move forward, whether at a leap or at a crawl. It will move forward.
The moment like Activision comes out openly and says, "Yeah, we want Call of Duty to be cross-platform," I don't think they have a choice. Like somebody like Activision, as big as they are, or Ubisoft, then they won't have a choice. I think they're skating by right now because of their popularity, and it's not. Fortnite is big in a sense as far as the game goes, but as far as the company goes, Epic, can't really compete with a name like Activision. I think of a game like Call of Duty. That Call of Duty said, "Hey, we want cross-platform play." I don't think they have a choice.
I think only COD could do that. I don't think there's any other game Ubisoft are a big enough company, but they don't have like one game that is big enough on all platforms.
EA could with their sports games. If EA came out and they said we want Madden and FIFA to be crossplay, you bet your ass Sony would do it. They would have to.
FIFA, not Madden.
No, Madden could pull in that number.
Yeah, because Madden's big in the States. I know FIFA's a bigger game as far as sales, but Madden is big in the States.
Oh yeah, definitely. Madden would be dope.
Yeah, and there wouldn't have to worry about like mouse and keyboard or anything like that because it wouldn't matter at all. It would give you no benefit as opposed to another. But
it's sort of weird because FIFA's a weird one because it's one of the few games that is better to play on console than PC.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
I think it'd be so weird playing any sports game with mouse and keyboard.
You haven't played the brilliance of Football Manager, my friend.
It just seems un-American.
Oh man, if I had 2 hours, I could explain why Football Manager is the greatest game of all time, but we don't. So there.
Yeah.
And by football, you mean soccer, correct?
No, I mean football. Are you talking about hand egg?
Oh my god!
No, we're talking about football. But I think you're talking about soccer. But I wasn't trying to be funny when I asked. I was legit trying to see what you were talking about.
Yes, I am talking about soccer.
Gotcha.
All right. Actually, speaking of James, why we got him here. So, James, my understanding is you've seen Alita Battle Angel.
I have. I have unfortunately seen Alita Battle Angel.
Oh boy. We'll get this out of the way now because when you came into our chat earlier this week, you're like, I need to rant about this, and so
okay,
we're gonna cede the floor. So go right ahead.
I'm gonna start with the thing that I like. Let me say that again. I'm gonna start with the thing that I like. As we all know, this film is produced by James Cameron, who is known for being a technical dude. Like everything he does technically is always really impressive. And the 3D in this film is genuinely brilliant. I hate 3D, but this film is really, really good in 3D. The character of Alita herself is a 3D character. There was an actress on set, but much like the Andy Serkis Planet of the Apes, she was wearing like dots on her faces and like cameras and all around her stuff, so they could enhance the performance and make it in a post-production studio or whatever. When the first trailers came out, everyone was like, "Oh, the eyes are too big," but the actual film itself, it's so not jarring at all. There's about 5 seconds where you go, "That's not a real person," and then the rest of the film was, "Oh, I don't mind." So yeah, that's great, and I really like the world of where the film is set. My problem with the film is everything else, and like there are people who come at this film saying that it's really, really good, and I can't understand why. And I feel like they just remember the bits where she's rolling around on roller skates, throwing a ball into a hole, sort of. I don't know how they score points in this weird game, but okay. So all right, so the film starts on a junkyard. The film starts in a junkyard, and then metaphorically, it never gets better than that. We never leave the junkyard of this film. But oh my god, it's so convoluted. They've tried to combine 4 manga, like massive books, into one 2.5 hour film. Not even 2.5, 2 hours, and you can't. It's so confusing. And Alita herself, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, she's the strong, independent woman, like this interesting character." And I'm like, she's about 4 different characters. She's either a small girl who doesn't know her past and wants to find that out. That's one interesting film. Or she's this really strong and independent rollerball playing bounty hunter, also an interesting film. Or she's this warmongering, battle-ready Martian robot. Also an interesting film. The thing is, she's all of these things at the same time.
I'm sorry, James. That was awesome. That was passionate. You feel good?
Stop being complex, James.
Within one scene, she will like do like a head girl speech at the end of school, being like, "We need to combine our resources and fight off this evil robot," and then like with. At like being like, and we will do it fairly with honor and justice. And then, literally, I'm not kidding. About 20 seconds later, a robot punches her, and then she responds retaliation. He asks for mercy, and I'm sorry for the swearing, but she goes, "Fuck your mercy," and then rips his eye out. It's so confusing. And you know that poster for the film where like she's got like war paint, like the paint under her eye?
Sure.
Yeah. Do you know what that is? It's not paint, it's the blood of a dog.
Whoa.
It's the blood of a dog that was killed in front of her, and then instead of like just beating the hell out of the person in front of you like John Wick would do, she leans down, puts her robot hand in it, and which she can't feel anything, and then white gives us a war paint with dog blood. And then there's like all the other characters in the film who are all terrible and weird and don't make any sense.
You can't hate on Christoph Waltz.
But okay, right. All right. Christoph Waltz is great.
He's a national.
Here's the thing about Christoph Waltz. He is the same in everything. He's the same in every film, and I love that. Alan Rickman was the same thing, but he doesn't work here. He's out of place. His very serious, I'm a serious man tone doesn't gel with the fact that he's also a bounty hunter. Like it, it's so confusing. And then she falls in love. Oh wait, I forgot about the worst. I forgot about the really bad sexual politics that this film has that no one's talking about. There's a bit where like it's implied that she's like the replacement daughter for Christoph Waltz's character, the surrogate daughter, I should say. And so they position her as like a between 10 and 12 year old girl. And then when she discovers like her own Martian robot body, she like grows a couple inches, and then her boobs just grow, and then her butt grows, and it's really weird. And then a character off screen just goes, "Man, she's older than you thought." I can't believe that that's a thing that happened. It's so confusing, and I just don't understand this film. And then she falls in love, and he says the phrase, "You're a robot, but you're the most human person I know." And I just wanted to punch someone.
Oh, that was a missed opportunity just to say they grow up so fast.
I know, but there is just.
It's in times of weirdness like this that I find myself forced to call on the immortal words of Owen Wilson. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's so wow, this film. The only film that has it. There's so much going on, and I've been testing people. I've been asking people to tell me the name of one character in the film other than Alita. The people who have just seen the film, they come out, I'm like getting ready to clean the screen and like take their 3D glasses, and I'm asking them, "Oh, by the way, can you tell me one character name? Just one that isn't Alita." And one person out of I want honestly 400 or 500 people in the past 3 days have managed to tell me one character name. That is the level of which this film is resonating with people.
You're totally right. That's the ultimate test of how bad a movie is. Tell me the name of one character from Rogue. Was it Rogue One?
Yeah, people can get Jyn Erso, and that's it.
Yep.
None of the others.
Robot. That's it.
K2SO, I actually do remember these.
Yeah, well,
this is when I was writing reviews, so I did research. But
Ivan thinks that rule of remembering people's names doesn't apply to, or applies rather to Rogue One. He gets so irritated when everyone remembers their names.
Cassian Andor. Yeah, I don't remember the others though. I don't remember Blind Man.
Yeah. Anyway, so
But
moving
yeah,
on.
but long story short, Alita is um I honestly I want to say it's disappointing, but when I first saw the trailer, I was just I don't know what this film is. I then it then got delayed, and I thought, okay, well maybe they've delayed it so they can like tweak the final product, and then like a video game, and just like they're not releasing it because I know they just didn't release it because they delayed it from Christmas and put it out now because they didn't want it to lose more money because it cost $200 million to make, and currently worldwide it's made about 70, and it's been out for a week and a half.
Mm.
And I don't know if it's been released, if it hasn't been released in certain parts of the world. I'm sure it'll do well in Japan and probably do well in China, but this film is just it's so weird. I almost want to tell people to see it just so they can really experience how weird it is, but I don't want to give it any money.
Yeah.
It's a really annoying situation, but I also don't want to tell people to illegally pirate it because that's bad.
Yeah.
Maybe read the manga. There you go. That's an easy compromise.
Okay. So we have other stuff we got to talk about tonight. Also, if you guys are watching the show, be sure to drop a like or subscribe. We're going to get the channel rolling here, so or just drop those likes so we can get this promoted as much as possible. We always appreciate that. So next thing on the docket, we got to talk about Crackdown 3 for a bit. So Crackdown 3 is coming out this week, and how long we waited for this? Since 2014. So it's been 5 years since we've known about its existence, just waiting for it to come out.
5 long years.
Still not a game. Still not a video game.
Yeah. Yep. Not until it's in your hands. So I understand.
It's
that,
going to be
James.
delayed. I want one company to delay a game forever, and every year they delay it to next April 1st, and then that keeps going.
But they've been doing that, James. It's called Half-Life 3.
Oh, because I was going to suggest we keep track of these game delays. Let's use our unit of measure as the Last Guardian. So right now we're at 0.5 Last Guardians with Crackdown 3.
Oh no, Duke Nukem Forever is the marker.
Yeah, true.
Because Last Guardian, at one point, they just stopped talking about it. Duke Nukem, they kept being like, no, it is coming.
Well, we could also use Star Citizen. How many Star Citizens are we at now?
Well, yeah, has Star Citizen ever actually had a release date, though?
Yes, it's had release dates multiple times. What was it? Let me pull up the list. There's actually a list of all the release dates. Give me just a moment. But I want to ask this. I want to bring up Crackdown 3 because of fame, because he didn't get to come in last week. So, all right. So Crackdown 3 has been getting a lot of attention. Some people are reviewing it now. People have done their impressions for as a single player. People have been doing the stress tests. I want to get Fame's impressions on this because I need to know Fame. What do you think about Crackdown 3, dude? What do you think about this?
Now, keep in mind, I haven't played the game. Okay. It's not okay. Okay. It's difficult, right? Because I am a Crackdown fan. I actually was looking more forward to the multiplayer than the single player. But now I am way more excited for the single player than the multiplayer. Because when you look at the grand scheme of things, first off, not being able to play with your friends day one is ridiculous. I'm sorry. That's stupid. And two, what we were told this game would be as far as the multiplayer is not what it was. Shout out to the Red Dragon who did a video and compared the 2015 video to this year's video, and that's not the same game. I'm sorry. That destructibility is not the same. You can't, every bullet is not making a singularity hole in a wall and you can shoot around and create a design and that piece falls out. That's not happening, right? That's not the case. At this point, we need to hope that Terry Crews is in the game enough to keep you interested in the multiplayer. I mean, in the story mode. That's why I'm more interested now. I'm probably going to play the story. I may or may not play much multiplayer. It doesn't look necessarily bad. It's just like, oh, here's a multiplayer game with somewhat destruction. Because keep in mind, it's not 100% destructible. I've seen the video of people try to blow stuff up or take it down, and they couldn't. And I don't like lock-on aim multiplayer games. I think the lock-on aim should have been taken out. I get that's the mechanical Crackdown, but this is the first time they did multiplayer. They should have took it out. The buildings are nothing more than to get away from a line of sight. My excitement for the game has went from a 10 to a 5. I'm still going to play it. I'll be there playing the story day one. If you guys want to play some multiplayer together, guess what? We got to wait a while unless we get lucky in the lobby together. Other than that, I'm here for it. I'm just not necessarily excited for it.
What if I told you one of the biggest games of 2018 had lock-on multiplayer aiming?
That was
Red Dead Redemption 2, baby.
I didn't play that game, and I'm good on that too, so they can have it. And lock-on aim and multiplayer is stupid.
Oh, dude, it's ridiculous. I tried playing Red Dead Redemption 2 over the week, and it's impossible. Like, because by default the lock on is still there, and you can lock on for headshots, and it's not cheating. It's in the game to allow you to do that as a default.
Oh my god!
You see other players. You aim at them, and it will automatically target them and follow them, and you can line it up for a headshot in like half a second, and it works every time. But no, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a 10 out of 10. Anyway, so
okay.
All right, follow up impressions on Crackdown for anybody.
Who's gonna play it? One way, like I said, one way or another, and I haven't gotten into the technical test. I'm not an insider, so I can't do that. One way or another, it'll finally be out. That's all I can say, honestly.
It's the last thing of the Magic era. It's the last game that Don Magic had a hand in commissioning. Like, just get this out of here.
Yeah. Just get it over with. Like, get it done. Let's move on. Regardless of whether it gets a 90 or a 50, it's like, I don't care. I'm all about Metro Exodus. I'll still play Crackdown 3 through Game Pass. I will. I'll jump in on that. But I'm all about Metro Exodus and the Resident Evil 2 DLC on the 15th. So, bring on Ori. Bring on Gears 5. Bring on the greatness. That's what I say.
Here's a question. What if Microsoft released this last year, but it's no campaign, only multiplayer, 50 players, Battle Royale mode, free to play? Would people still hate it?
Yeah.
If the destruction was as promised, no. I'm sorry. That's not the 100% destructibility that we all got excited for. Buildings, taking down a building from its bottom legs and having it fall and destroy the building next to it. I was looking forward to actually being inside of a building when someone's probably hiding and camping and just take the entire building down. That's what I was excited for. If the multiplayer was as advertised, it wouldn't get the hate it was getting. Because the whole thing when people saying it looks like a 360 game, that's all people just being stupid, right? The game looks great. It looks gorgeous. It's just, I feel bamboozled again. Just like I was bamboozled with the story of Halo 5, we were bamboozled with the Crackdown 3 multiplayer. I'm sorry. Yes, it had some destruction, but it's not what it was promised back when it was showed off as a tech demo.
Yeah, that's true. I've not watched a ton of it because I don't do that anymore. Especially when it comes to gameplay. I try not to watch too much gameplay of anything at this point. I try not to spoil myself. But what I have seen, it looks fairly limited. I feel like I've seen this in other games. It doesn't feel as unique as it was before. But I don't know, dude. I'm not super feeling it, but hey, it's in Game Pass. I'll have it. Already got it installed. I'm good to go. So, anything else before we move on? No.
I think we covered everything.
Now,
I think we've really cracked down on this.
Oh God. All right. Now for the pièce de résistance, the real front runner of February 15th. The one, the only.
Happy Death Day to you!
No.
No.
Metro Exodus, finally coming out.
Sukkoblet, comrades.
It's been, was it? Last game came out 2013. So yeah, 2013 because it came out like right before the end of the generation.
Mm-hmm.
That was last light, and we've had nothing since then. So it's been 6 years. Game's finally coming out. I'm super stoked. There's been a lot of drama around it for various reasons. But all right, so first off, who's actually going to play this game? Who's excited? I know Demi's excited. He's got to be in the chat, being super pumped about this.
I'm excited. I'm super excited. You guys know I'm a huge fan of these games. I don't think they get anywhere near the attention they deserve. The previous two haven't. So I'm glad Metro Exodus appears to actually be on more people's radars. It's how do you, Ivan, how do you begin to explain these games to people who have never played them before? Because it's like, yeah, it's survival horror, a post-apocalypse shooter, but it's also deep and introspective and lots of talks about what it means to be human and humane. Like, I often joke that some of this game's levels are the best walking sims ever in a game that isn't a walking sim. And I 100% legitimately mean that. There's a complex morality system, decisions you can make, things you can do. Like, it's awesome. It's just awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to think how the best way to explain this. So, well, okay. Here's my exposure to Metro. That'll probably help explain this a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I had finished Fallout New Vegas when the game came out. I just finished it, and I needed kind of some downtime over the summer, and it was really hot. And so, hey, Metro last light. So I started playing Metro, and the best way to probably explain it is like Call of Duty, Bioshock, and Metro, and Fallout kind of had a baby. it's it's very much a single player linear campaign. There's very little room for exploration. It's very much guided, like Call of Duty, like Bioshock. Um, it has that post-apocalyptic vibe to it, but there's no happy-go-lucky uh, music or vibe to it that makes you say, "Oh, that's cool." It's very dark. It's very dour. It's very um, strained. It's probably the best way to put it. It's a really fun game. They have cool little mechanics. Like one of my favorite things that they do is how they work the economy. So in the game, you'll have like a makeshift ammo, and you can use it like they're more like pellets or like marbles or whatever for different types of guns. But then you'll have like military grade ammo, like mainly rifles and stuff.
Right,
But
bullets that have never been
yeah.
used before, never refilled.
Military grade ammo, like just regular military ammo. It's never been used, and that is the currency in the game. And so, if you choose to use that ammo, if you get stuck in a pinch and you're screwed, you don't have a lot of ammo to work with. You can use that military grade ammo, but you're going to be losing that currency. But it will do more damage and it will be useful, but that's your currency too. I love that dynamic. It's a lot of fun because you're gonna need those bullets for upgrades and better weapons. So it's a fun dynamic I love playing with. The other one too is we talk about this in game design is the illusion of free will, where in those games, especially in a game where it makes you feel like there's a limited path. Okay, here's an example of how to best explain this. Fallout New Vegas, when you start the game, you can see the city of New Vegas, not very far from Good Springs. You can walk straight there. You can do it. However, some of the hardest enemies in the entire game are between you and New Vegas. They force you to walk all the way around to go to New Vegas and level up that way. You could still do it, but the game encourages you to go the other way around without explicitly telling you to do it. That's good game design. That's where you're making a decision to do something because you think it's your idea, but the game wants you to do it, and it doesn't feel forced, where you have to do it. There's a moment in, I think it's Metro 2033, where you're going in and you're in this town. I remember brief moments of it, where you're in this town and you have a couple different options. You can go like left, right, up, or not up. You go forward. You can choose however you want to do it. Then like some kid like pickpockets you, and so it's like at that moment where you feel like you had a choice of where to go. The choice is taken away from you, except it doesn't feel like you aren't able to go this direction, to go and visit the other stuff. Just the way it progresses doesn't feel like it's forced. And that's good game design. And also, too, these games are made on budgets. What was it? If I remember correctly, Metro Last Light, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, wasn't their budget like $200,000 or something?
I'm not sure
like
it was
ridiculously
quite
low.
that low.
It was
but
less than $1 million. I know that much, which is very, very rare.
It was very low. Like I remember THQ bragging about the fact that it was like 10% of what the budget would be at any other studio, at any other publisher. So yeah, I mean, I don't remember the exact amount, but it was low. It was really, really low.
It's saying 10% of a competitor. I'm gonna look over here.
Mm-hmm.
It was something ridiculously low.
Yes,
which is just it was like, oh my god, like I'm taking a look through here. But yeah, those games are a lot of fun. They really are. And like it's a Ukrainian team, if I remember correctly. And so it's always nice to see some Eastern European people getting in the game in this field. So it's not just, East and West. You got some people in the middle there. Like so it's different. Anyway, so anyone else jumping on this? Mike, you have any interest in this game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, they had me at that E3 trailer they showed last year. I haven't watched too much gameplay of it since then because I want to go in like totally fresh. This is the first time I'm playing a Metro game, so I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm thinking that this might be a good time for me to jump on since I've never played a Metro game before. How closely, from what you guys heard, does it tie into the previous games? Like, you don't have to play like.
It ties in extremely closely. I could send you like a lore recap video probably, and I could, and a couple of trailers that would tell you enough to know. Yeah. Like the main thing is because it's the same protagonist throughout all three games, including Exodus. Yeah, Artyom. I love how people say his name all the time. Really, the main thing you're just going to be missing is the attachment to him after all this time, because we've invested a ton of time in him. But in terms of understanding, it's no spoiler to tell you that the plot is literally them going away from where they've been in search of a better life. It's mainly just you need to know Artyom and like his wife and a couple of other characters better. Like you can get away with it. You can get away with not playing the previous games. But you should, because they're dirt cheap and they're great.
Yeah. So the first game is like a choose your own. Like it was one of those games where it says like, okay, you could choose the good ending or the bad ending. It's one of those kinds of games. Right. Oh yeah, so other thing too, at least in terms of the gameplay, what makes the game fun is, well, okay, this is hard to explain. So the first game, it's set during the winter, in particular, which we're going back to the winter setting here. It's okay. Well, I'm gonna start over. here's the world of Metro in 2 minutes. Bombs drop, fight fallout. Everyone retreats to the subway system. The entire Earth above is completely changed. Radiation everywhere. Chernobyl. Like people get mutated. Like random giant gerbil-looking creatures walking around. It's just crazy. It's nuts. Humans cannot survive up there at all. They need gas masks, and the radiation's insane.
And that's another part of the game, by
long.
the way, is you have to manage your gas mask and
Yep.
your air level when you're out on the surface.
Yep, that is true. And when you're above ground, if you take damage, your gas mask can crack. And when it cracks, you can take more radiation, you'll die faster. So that's one of those instances where it incentivizes you to save your ammo for these moments so that doesn't happen. But in the first game, the focus is more on Artyom, and there's what do they call there's a mutated group of what do they call them, Sam?
The Dark Ones?
The Dark Ones. Yeah, so they have the Dark Ones, and they're like mutated people. No one's quite sure the aliens, what's going on. Now, to give you an idea of a time frame, this is like
wait. A mainstream video game got away with calling the villainous faction called the Dark Ones.
They're not necessarily villainous. They just don't know who they are.
Okay.
So in this game, it's you can choose, like, you can either like annihilate all of them or save them or whatever. You can choose how you end the game, and it's like, all right, that's cool. Game's fun. The second game starts off assuming you were an asshole. It assumes you obliterated all of them, and you kind of go through this like whole rigmarole of like terrible situation after terrible situation. And I'm not going to get into the story aspect of it, but like it's like, oh yeah, we were looking after redacted. We were going after this, and then we got kidnapped by Nazis, and then we got kidnapped by communists. And then now we're back with the Spartans, but the Spartans aren't necessarily happy. And now we got to go do a launch and rescue mission and go back and fight the Nazis and fight the communists and all this kind of stuff. It's crazy. It's nuts. This game is going to be, I believe, the first one where you like blatantly escape the metro.
Yeah, I mean that's like I said. This one doesn't take place in the metro system. It's not a spoiler. The entire plot is you're taking a train ride across Europe, or across Russia at the very least, to a less irradiated area in search of like a new home.
Yep. So it's gonna be fun, dudes. It's gonna be a good game, and it's just so nice to see like these AA games getting that shine, get that shine to come out of the come out of the metro, so to speak. It's just enjoyable, man. I'm just so excited for this game. I want to see it succeed.
But like I said, I'm very glad that this one seems to actually be getting some big mainstream attention, because it really deserves it.
Yeah. It's true, man. It really does deserve it. It got a lot. In a crowded field, it somehow survived. Anyway. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap things up for the night?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Oh, I want to quickly talk about a piece of news that broke like an hour ago, and it's about the Oscars, and it's the fact that the Oscars will. You know about this?
Go ahead.
This is that the Oscars will They will do what the BAFTAs do in the UK, which is they will, in the televised broadcast, they will be cutting certain awards, and they will award them during commercial breaks. This does work. This can work. And so what they'll do is at the end of the awards, they'll do like a sizzle reel and quickly show you who won what. The problem with this is, one, it's the certain awards that they're cutting. They're cutting cinematography, editing. They're cutting the short film, which I understand. if you do want to save time. But the televised, it's still going to be about 3 hours. So this edition of the Oscars it has no host, which means no opening monologue and no cutaways to random sketches. And they're still cutting loads of awards because they're going to prioritize the quote unquote more important awards. And I think that's insulting and a bit sick, frankly.
I was going to say cinematography and editing. That seems pretty damn important.
Editing,
they're really important.
I mean,
editing is one of the most important. Like, I'm don't get me wrong, I haven't been to film school or anything, but I look at shots from certain films, like in different clips I'll look up on YouTube, and I'm like, oh God, it hurts my eyes. Stop cutting every 3 seconds. Let the shot linger. Like, this is kind of a big deal. That's kind of important stuff. You're right, James. That's insulting.
And and they're still giving the awards out, obviously, but this is the same situation that the Grammys were in for near decades. That like they were still giving out rap awards, but they weren't televising them, and this is setting a dangerous precedent. I'm not entirely happy that they do it in England for the BAFTAs, but then again, the BAFTAs make it concede that they don't go out live. They pre-record the entire show. And then put it out, an edited hour version. But the full version is available if you want to watch it online. So if the Oscars do that, then that's a compromise I can understand. But knowing the Oscars, knowing how difficult they are, I'm struggling to see that this is a thing that they will do. And I'm really, really, really not happy about this.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. My problem is when they start doing that is they always prioritize the wrong stuff to get cut. Like, okay, like watching the Game Awards, like this year was much, much better. Like they breezed through a lot of awards that were like people don't really care about. I was like, all right, good. But like, okay, but it's like, okay, well, what about sound design? Should sound design be cut? I would say yes.
I don't think award ceremony should have trailers in them.
Yeah, or even better yet, like what are they doing with all this extra time? Are they showing like a scene from every movie?
No, they're just going to like allow people to talk longer about film, about their films. They're going to allow the speeches to go on.
Oh, this is going to be bad. I can tell you right now. People are going to grandstand. You're going to have someone's going to go on stage and is going to be uninterrupted, giving a speech, something either political or social related, and not shut up. It's like, just stop. I want to watch the next award. Excuse me. So I just want to see the next award. I just want
to quickly just and like highlight so the major 4 that they've cut are, as I said, cinematography, editing, makeup and hairstyling, and live action short. Now, just last year, the cinematography award was won by Roger Deakins. 13 nominations, 1 win. And like he's like the best cinematographer of all time. He finally got his awards, and it was amazing. It was an amazing moment for the Oscars history. The live action short was for a film called The Silent Child. The acceptance speech was done by a husband and wife duo who wrote and directed the film, and they did it in honor to their 6-year-old deaf actress, and they did it in sign language as they spoke, and I genuinely started crying when I saw that. Makeup and hairstyling is really important in Hollywood, and that makes no sense that they've cut it. And editing last year, who got nominated, the guy won it was a guy called Ozzie Lee Smith, who got nominated for The Dark Knight, Master and Commander, and amongst other things, he won his first Oscar. Like he was quoted as saying, "I can't talk any quicker. I'm an editor. I should be able to do this quickly." It's sad. This is supposed to be the most important awards ceremony in cinema. Then show them all.
Okay, so it was really funny you bring up Roger Deakins all of a sudden. So I was like, I had just heard that name recently. I was like, who is like?
He's done everything. He's done,
to give you an idea, like here's his filmography: Skyfall, Blade Runner 2049, No Country for Old Men, Sicario, Hail Caesar, Unbroken, um, True Grit.
Yeah,
So
he's
basically, all the films with incredible editing and cinematography.
yes,
no. But he's like the Coen brothers' go-to guy. But he's really important. He's one of the most important people in cinema history, and I mean that
Fargo.
sincerely because he created color grading.
Really?
He created digital color grading, I should say. Sorry,
Fascinating.
No Country for Old Men was the first film to be fully digital color graded. Because if you see it, it's all like grays and browns because it's supposed to give this airy vibe. But like if you go to where they filmed it, it's green because it's grass. But like that's why that film looks that way because it's digitally altered and because he's a genius and really understands lighting and cinematography like no one else does. And that's why the whole thing is like how many other people do you know has been nominated 14 times for Oscars for one category?
Like he's
Think
basically
about that.
done all my favorite movies: Shawshank
Yeah,
Prison Redemption, Fargo, Big Lebowski, Oh Brother Where Art Thou? I'm like, holy crap!
yeah.
Oh,
And I just, you know, I can see that this happening. The trend is going to be next year. They're going to cut the foreign language films because apparently no one cares about them. Then they're gonna get rid of the music stuff. Then they're not going to have the performances of best song, which are great, which are always great. I'm angry, frankly. I'm pissed off.
Understandably so. Understandably so, dude. Like, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's anything I can add to that. Just yeah.
but cinematography though, like that's just such a big one of all of them.
I mean,
Like
you know,
I'm totally 100% for cutting out makeup and that kind of crap if Suicide Squad wins again. But like that, it lost all credibility at that point. I was like, nope, never. Star Trek Beyond should have won. I will never forgive them. But yeah,
Yeah, but by this logic, I can't forgive the Oscars for not awarding the best film to Saving Private Ryan when they gave it to Shakespeare in Love.
yeah.
Like these things happen.
Now the real question before we wrap things up here, I want to ask James: do you think there's an actual chance that Black Panther could win?
No.
No. Why?
It's not because like I don't think it's very good. I've been on record saying I don't think it's as good as everyone says it is. I don't think it's not nominated in the right categories to win best film. To win best film, you need to be nominated in obviously best film, but you need to have a cinematography nomination and editing nomination. Most importantly, there have been I think 3 films ever that have not won cinematography, best film and best editing. They always go together. That's why another reason why editing is so important. Also, it's not nominated for best director, or any of the screenplay awards or any of the acting awards, because when you think about the way that the Academies breaks down in voting systems is the actors vote for actors, the directors vote for directors, cinematography for cinematography, and so on and so on and so forth, and everyone votes for best film. And if you see that it's only nominated in best film, and I think best costuming,
Maybe.
I think, but it's a bunch of tech awards, but it's not the prestige awards, and you need to have the prestige awards to win. I think Roma's going to win best film because
Let's go over here's the nominees for you guys that don't know.
yeah,
Black Panther, Black Klansman somehow,
because
Bohemian
it's great.
Rhapsody seems obvious.
No,
The
it's not.
Favorite, Green Book, Oscar bait, um, Roma,
Green Book's great. Green Book's great.
A Star Is Born, Hollywood Jackoff. That's they've remade this movie like what 3 or 4 times, James.
This is the fourth version of Star is Born.
This
Yeah.
is they they do this every generation. Like this is like okay, I get it. Like this is it's the same story again.
Mm.
And like okay, what was it? Now remind me, James, if I remember this correctly. So the first one was actually about Hollywood stars, like an old fading guy has like there's a young starlet who's coming up, and he takes that
Yes.
role. Kind of like they have a relationship and they do their thing. Then they do it a second time with that being the trait, and then the third time they switch it to being a music thing, so it's not so on the nose. It's a Hollywood movie. And then they did this time. Wasn't it like the last time was like Barbra Streisand or something?
It was Barbra Streisand and Chris Christopherson in the 70s.
Yeah.
So they did one in the 30s, the 50s, the 70s, and this decade. I'm honestly surprised they didn't do one in the 90s with Whitney Houston and somebody.
Yeah. Anyway, they also got Vice. By the way, as I said Roma. But as someone who has seen Vice, this isn't Best Picture. Like, no, it's good, it's fun, but it's not Best Picture. No.
No, Roma's going to win because, as I said, because it's nominated in the right other categories. Especially there's one acting nomination. Like one of the actresses in Roma has been nominated in a bunch of the award circuit, but I think either the supporting or the lead actress is nominated for the Oscar, and it's the only acting nomination she's got, which means that there is a groundswell of support in the Academy for this film. Because it wasn't even nominated in the Screen Acting Guilds, but would buy the actors for it. There is a real push for this film, and Netflix is fully on this. Like there have been billboards even in London for your consideration campaigns for the Oscars, not for BAFTA, for the Oscars, because they know so many Academy voters live here. Like we are on the verge of seeing the first film to win Best Film that never had a wide cinema release.
Yeah. Okay.
Further cementing my theory that the Netflix will just become another cinema chain. I'm convinced this will happen in 5 years. I'm so convinced that they're gonna have like Netflix releases and it's gonna be in the cinemas for 2 weeks, and you can go and use your Netflix card that they will bring out. You can go see it in the cinema, and then in 2 weeks it'll be on your TV.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. But all right, so we gotta wrap things up here, guys. We'll do our outros. They've already had to split. So Mike, where can the people find you at?
All right, guys, you can find me on Twitter at The Truth of Mike P, basically everywhere else, Xbox, PlayStation, wherever, at Mike P The Truth, and also writing opinion pieces for the Inner Circle at TickGamesNetwork.com.
All right, Sam, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Samuel Tolbert. That's Tolbert. You can find everything I write on TickGamesNetwork.com. News, reviews, opinion pieces, previews, pretty much just everything, if we're being honest. We have a lot of big reviews coming up, obviously, with Metro Exodus, Crackdown 3, Far Cry New Dawn. You can look for reviews for all of those, actually, from us in the near future. So, please be excited.
And James?
The good people and Mike can come and get me on Twitter at James_S Wilson. Come and talk to me about how amazing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is and how awesome it's going to be when it wins the Oscar.
Dude, I want to see that happen.
I do too.
It's going to happen. It's won in every single award ceremony. It's won.
It's Lord and Miller. It's unique in terms of its art style, and it's a good story. It's a really good story. So it's got Nicolas Cage's Spider-Man Noir, damn it. Like it can't get much more interesting than that.
Where I go, the wind follows, and the wind smells like rain.
All right, guys. My favorite scene from that was like, I should have been there for you with the bread. That part was so funny to me, but also so touching. It was like the perfect blend of comedy and tragedy in one scene. But anyway, so I'll talk to you guys later. And we are out of here at Multiverse Show episode 118. Thank you guys for stopping in.